Alright, hey, how's it going, YouTube land? I did the live stream. Still working on editing that. Looks like YouTube's tools suck. Um, but in the meantime, let's get to some action figures. Alright, let's give a brief tour of the action figures before we get to the video. So, this is my kind of backstage interview section, and there's also a car here to represent the parking lot. Here we have the locker room area, complete with different people's extra clothing. Got a little mirror there, a little seating area with some pancakes, a Slammy Award, and Money in the Bank. And yes, that is KO and Chris Jericho. Box of Bootios in the back. That's actually 3 awesome action figures of the New Day. And then gorilla position leads into this stage setup. It's a combination of something I built and a set for some dolls, I think. I have 2 figures in the back here still in their boxes. That's a really cool Macho Man and an Ultimate Warrior. On this side of the ring, we have the hardcore boiler room section, complete with Scar, the dilapidated boat. You'll see I do use Lego minifigs as my audience. There are 100 minifigs in this audience exactly, including 3 Wookiees. There's the ring itself, including steps. And on commentary right now, we got Joe and Corey Graves. Alright, so Raw starts out with the VIP lounge, and well, I don't have a Dolph Ziggler figure because he is on the list of Optimus, which is a list of guys that I just don't like, so I refuse to buy their figures. However, if somebody gives them to me for free, I'll be glad to take it. Anyway, I also don't have VIP because he's old. I'm glad they're doing this storyline with Drew because there's history with Dolph, obviously, but I'm a little bit bored with it, so I'm also glad they're getting it out of the way. Next up, the Street Profits are actually out right now because Angelo Dawkins had a kid. Well, his wife had a kid. So in the meantime, the Viking Raiders are feuding with Zelina Vega's boys. I don't really understand if they're on the same page right now, Andrade and Angel Garza. But otherwise, I like this matchup. And there's a great Andrade figure out there. I think it comes with Zelina Vega and his La Sombra mask, and I'd really like to get my hands on it. Alright, Ruby Riot is getting interviewed backstage, and she's interrupted by the Iconics, who make fun of her for being alone. Except she's not. Bianca Belair appears. I don't have a Bianca Belair, but I am working on it. And in my opinion, this is kind of a wasted debut. So, some wrestling news here. The former Rusev, whose real name is Miro, contracted COVID-19, meaning Lana, his real-life wife, is exposed. Now, she went on a boating trip with Liv Morgan and Mandy Rose, and that's why Liv's storyline isn't continuing here. R-Truth is hanging out backstage with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. I don't have any of these guys just yet, but I'm working on especially Ricochet and R-Truth and maybe Cedric Alexander. I do, however, have Tozawa, who refuses to train R-Truth in being a ninja, I guess. Back in the ring, R-Truth is complaining to Tozawa before their fight about the ninjas around the ring when Shayna Baszler, of all people, comes out. She's complaining about the women's division. I'm not really the biggest fan of her character, but they did push her like hell in NXT and on the main roster at Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, so I'm really disappointed that Vince kind of dropped the ball on her. Seth's out in the ring cutting a promo now, and I'm sorry, but Seth is just really boring to me. He lacks any substance to his character, and he's entitled for no reason. KO interrupts him, and he's not sorry. I don't have a Murphy or an Aleister Black yet for their match, but I am working on it. Rey and Dominic Mysterio come down to the ring. I misspoke a second ago because I forgot that I actually did get my Aleister Black the other day, so I've included it in this picture. Seth and KO are having a fight. Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and Aleister are all on the outside of the ring, distracting him and making him paranoid throughout. They come up on the apron at the end, and KO gets a stunner for the win. Honestly, if I had to fantasy book this, I wouldn't have KO in it at all, especially without Austin Theory around for like that added threat. I would just eliminate him from this whole storyline altogether. And for God's sake, don't let Seth talk so much. He really is that bad. I don't have Ric Flair or The Big Show, and I'm not getting them because they're old, but they talk backstage. Randy Orton's out in the ring. He says he's going to beat R-Truth tonight, which he does with an RKO. Big Show interrupts and challenges Randy to an unsanctioned match next week. Does Randy know he has a match on Sunday? Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet is next. Bobby is also on my list of Optimus. He wins with the full Nelson. Cedric gets in the ring. He also gets beaten up and slammed. Frankly, all three of these guys have been wasted since they've been on the main roster. And in our main event, we have Bayley and Sasha versus the Kabuki Warriors. So I'll start by saying that I'm not going to get the Kairi Sane figure because it is an elite, so it's expensive. She doesn't use the pirate gimmick anymore, and I still think she's going to be moving back to Japan. Anyway, there's no heat to this match at all, so here's my fantasy book. I think that Sasha should win the Raw belt from Asuka on Sunday. That way, Bayley and her have 4 belts between them. Then, Asuka, desperate to save the women's division from their tyranny, enlists the help of her friend and NXT champion, Io Shirai. In the end, Io drops her NXT belt, and as Kabuki Warriors 2.0, they somehow manage to each get a main roster belt from Bayley and Sasha, while the tag team titles revert over to the Iconics. I don't know. I just think that'd be interesting.